Hey everybody, so today's video is actually going to be a topic video and a mixed media painting. To let you guys know, I actually just started a Patreon, and one of the Patreon perks is you can request a video. It could be a topic or anything you want. And one of my patrons, Bricia Chan, actually requested me to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'll read what she wrote. She says, draw your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Character, which for me is Bakura, and talk your experiences with Yu-Gi-Oh! Like when you first saw it. So I'll be talking about my experience with Yu-Gi-Oh! And why I'm so obsessed with it. But again, shout out to Bricia Chan, and thank you so much for being one of my Patreons. I really appreciate it. Alright, let's get started. So when I first got into Yu-Gi-Oh! I was actually, oh man, I think it was either around 4th grade. And I was super obsessed with it because I really love Egyptian stuff and mythology. And of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, if you're not familiar, is kind of based off Egyptian stuff. And I always thought it was fascinating because, I mean, it's called Yu-Gi-Oh! And its dual monsters are Egyptian. And it was also very interesting because I started getting into more anime, and this was the first, like, anime that they play, like, at nighttime at Cartoon Network. It was like, I think after Pokemon, because they both brought it out at the same time. And I was so into Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, I don't know, it was just so interesting. And I was kind of a loner child. Like, I wasn't really a loner, but I was having a hard time making friends. And I felt Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a great way for me to get out there and try to make friends, which, by the way, didn't really work well until now, actually, much later. But I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! And I started playing the game, and it was really fun, but of course I didn't know how to play the game properly because I was going off of how they played in the show, which, by the way, is not how you play the game. But, I mean, what can you do? I think I was like 10? Gosh, how old was I? I don't remember. Yeah, it was a while ago. But I will go to, like, competitions, and I'll, like, play, card games with other duelists, and I was the only girl, and it just kind of felt weird because I was the only girl, and I thought it was like, maybe this is just a boys thing, but like, I'm like, oh no, I'm cool because I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever. And it didn't really stop me much, but I did get criticized by people because I like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or I play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I never, like, thought about this, but when I was in competitions, I actually got kind of sexually harassed in a way, but I didn't really catch it because I was so young, and it was just like other 10-year-olds just kind of sexually harassing me because I was a girl. And I thought, good job, parents, teaching your 10-year-olds proper education. But I still really liked it, and I felt, though, a lot of the people weren't very cool, though, and it was hard for me to make friends. So when I finally got into, like, 4th grade or whatever, I was still very much into it, and some other people were really into it too, and they were pretty cool. But it was just kind of the same thing, and I just felt really sad about that. Let's see. And then years later, I just kind of stopped. I guess I kind of forgot about it for a long time, Yu-Gi-Oh! And I still have my cards. I took good care of my cards, and I love them very dearly, and I still have them by now. But I just kind of forgot and just kind of moved on a bit. And then when I got into, what was it? High school, yeah, people were playing it, and I was like, oh, this is fun, I'll play too. And it was really fun because people were playing it, and there was nothing really weird about it. And I still didn't know how to play properly, but I still enjoy it. Like, I'm not the best duelist, but I still really fully enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And then after that, I went into college, and a lot of my friends actually did play Yu-Gi-Oh! Also, and it was even more fun because I actually liked these people in college, because when I was playing in high school, it was only for like half semester, and then I stopped, and then back into college, we would do like tag dueling games, and it was a lot of fun. I fully enjoyed it. Some of us got in trouble because we were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Instead of doing actual like classes or college work, which was terrible, but I wasn't one of those people. I try not to be anyways. Looking back, I could just remember the first time they brought Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie out, with oh god, the Pyramid of Light, and I was so excited for that movie. Like, I was so excited. And I didn't really have anybody to go with, so I just went with my dad, because again, this was a long time ago. I think I was in 5th grade when that movie came out, and I was so freaking excited for it. But of course, like, I was the only girl that showed up to the theater with my dad. I mean, I was the only girl generally. And I had the whole row of chairs to myself because no one wanted to sit with me because I was a girl. And I was like, hey, fine, whatever. And I really loved the movie, but my dad fell asleep during the movie. Like, the beginning of the movie, he fell asleep, and I was so upset. But I just remember getting the cards and was so excited. And then I think it was like Burger King had all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Like movie toys, and I got that. And then recently, like, was it 4 years ago now? 3 years ago? 3? I don't remember. The other Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie came out. Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh my gosh. Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side Dimensions, that's what it was. And when I found out they were doing that, this was like over 10 years later from the first one, and you have no idea how excited I was. I haven't been so excited in a long time, and I had to wait like half a year for it. But when it finally came out, I saw it with a friend from college, and I was just so like blown away. It was so beautiful, and it was amazing seeing how much it matured, because it was more in tone to the original series that I never really read until now, which I'm glad I didn't read the original manga because I've been so traumatized as a child. But it was just so cool, and I felt really sad that it was over and that it was the proper ending for it, but it will always still live on in me, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just such a big part of my life now, and I made so many friends like recently. Like, I'm so happy that there's more diversity now with people who are really into it. My favorite character will always have to be Bakura. I always thought he was such an interesting character, and that he wasn't even like introduced like super early. He just kind of like just showed up, kind of like a little stalker. Because the first time we really saw him was kind of like in the boat ride, and then I think you just saw him like in the background of the first episode, but I can't remember. But when they're on the cruise ship, you could see him for the first time, introduce him with his name, and then he shows up again a little bit later, like dueling or something. I don't really remember, but it was just such an interesting thing, because I'm like, who is that character and why is he spying on Yugi and his friends? And I just like the way he like was very diverse, I guess is a good word to say. Oh, I don't really know. It's just he had a very interesting character development, and he had I think the most character development in this show other than Yugi. And I just felt so bad for him because he was just like, he was trying his best, but he was like possessed by the evil spirit, and he was so much in pain and being in an abusive relationship that he just couldn't do anything. And I just felt so bad for him, and I feel like maybe he's kind of like when you're like really sad or depressed, and I just felt so much like connected with him, which is kind of weird, but everyone's connected to any character, and I felt like he was just so interesting. And then watching the new movie, Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie with him, and I was really happy that they kind of had like a continuation with him, because in this show they just kind of ended it, and you're like, well, what happened to Bakura? What happened to, like, what's going on? And when they had him in the movie, all his like backstory and all that sad stuff that happened, and the revenge of the Millennium Ring towards him, I just was like, wow, this is really sad. And then now reading the manga, I finally got into his chapter, and it's just so sad and abusive, and I feel like he's such a strong character though, because he's trying to survive by being possessed. And I don't know, man. I feel like Bakura is just, he needs more more loving in the world, and he's just such an interesting character that always still be like deep in my heart. And he was my first or only Yu-Gi-Oh! Cosplay that I ever done. I cosplayed as Bakura a few years ago, and I want to try possibly him again and some other characters eventually, but for now I'll just keep drawing and painting him the way I want and having him continue living as a character because he's so special. He's a special baby, and he deserves all the love he can get. Anyway, I can talk about Yu-Gi-Oh all day long, every week, every day for the rest of my life, but unfortunately I should probably stop. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope you like the painting and my little backstory on Yu-Gi-Oh, and if you guys want to hear more, let me know. I'm okay talking more about it. But yeah, again, I want to thank you to Bricia Chan for the topic, and I will have the link to my Patreon down below if you guys want to check it out. And until next time, bye.